Hola peoples! So this video is my second marker illustration, and it is a picture of Rainbow Brite, who is one of my favorite characters. And I take that back. It was supposed to be a marker illustration, but it ended up being more mixed media, and I'll explain why as the video goes on. Just in case you don't know, I am getting back into producing artwork after a few years hiatus, and alcohol markers are a new medium for me. With this illustration, I definitely experienced learning curves and there's a lot of trial and error in this one. So in the beginning, you'll see me, I'm using my DIY light box to do a clean pencil drawing over my sketch. And then I am going over that pencil drawing with my Uniball black pen. After I did that, I looked at it and then decided I preferred to actually make the illustration without line art. And then I also decided the picture was a little bit too big. I shrunk it down and then redrew it again with just another pencil drawing. So that's what you see me start off with when the coloring started. My original intention with the coloring was to use my new set of Bic Mark-It Markers. Those marker colors are so bright and strong, I felt they would work best for a Rainbow Brite picture. But when I got to, starting off with the face, I realized that the set didn't have good skin tone. So I ended up pulling out my Conda markers and my Prismacolor markers. I'm still struggling with the blending of Prismacolor and Conda markers. The Bic Mark-It and the Conda markers, they blend so beautifully. I'm so in love with those two markers and the way they work together. And I actually find myself gravitating towards using those two markers more so than my Prismacolor. I'm loving them, the two of them, so much. I just wish I had more Conda markers to really complement and to be able to work with. Once I got going on the coloring, and especially once I realized how well the Condas and the Bic Markets worked well together, the first coloring part went really smooth. I was really happy with the direction that the picture was going in until I went to erase the pencil underneath, and that is when it all started to go downhill. I could not get the pencil to erase. I pulled out another hard eraser, and the pencil would not go away. You could see the pencil lines underneath. So trying to think what to do at this point to save this picture. Like I said, I didn't want to have lines on it, but realized, okay, well, I think, was thinking that looks like my only option, but I didn't want to have black. So I ended up pulling out my fine tip Sharpies, but the hair still had the pencil lines within it and the yellow wasn't covering it. So I ended up pulling out a different colored Conda marker, I think it was a Conda marker, to sort of cover up. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. It covered the pencil. It wasn't what I wanted. I ended up leaving the picture for the night. When I came back in the morning, I had a different type of eraser in my pencil box. And this eraser was just one of those pink, square, really hard erasers. I decided to try it, and would you believe it erased every ounce of the pencil? I was so upset. I was so upset because now the pencil was completely gone. You couldn't even see it, and now I had all this outline stuff, especially in the hair, that I didn't even want. And two, when I was erasing the pencil, the eraser was smearing some of the lines. So it just created this whole new issue, and I was like, oh my gosh. So now it was like, how do I fix all the smears? And I thought about scanning the picture in and fixing it on computer, but I felt like it was gonna look like you would be able to tell the computer part separate from what I had done. And then I also noticed that her star on her belt, it was off, and I had just had some parts that were just a little wonky. So the only other thing I could think of using was acrylic paint. I have some iridescent gold paint, and I ended up using that on the star on her belt. And I just kind of drew it with the paint and filled it in, and it set the whole picture off. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I pulled out some yellow and went into the hair, and I kind of watered down the acrylic paint and just used it to cover up the smears on her hair and sort of take back some of that line art. I couldn't take it all the way, but just take it down some. And then just it looked so good. I was just so amazed at how good it looked that I ended up going in some more and using the acrylic paint to add some shading to the markers. And I was floored. I just never thought about using alcohol markers and acrylic paint. You know, I've seen people use the markers with pencil crayons, but you know, I just didn't think about it. I'm so happy with the way it turned out, and I'm so happy that I didn't chuck it because like I said, I was so gonna chuck that thing and I'm like, I'm not starting over. Well guys, that's it for this video, and I thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.